class, welcome back to music. Today we are going to learn some songs and talk about pitch. So when I say pitch, I mean high notes and low notes and everything in between. So all the different pitches which go from low notes all the way up to high notes. So everything, all the different notes on the scale. So we're going to learn two songs where we're going to show all the pitches using our body. So the floor is going to be our lowest notes, and then our ankles are going to go up from there, and then knees, and then our thighs, and then our waist, and then our shoulders, and then our head, and then the very highest note will be up here in the air. And the first one is Jack and Jill. So if you know the song Jack and Jill, or if you know the rhyme, Jack and Jill, then this should be easier for you to learn. So we just start low for Jack and Jill, and we go all the way up high, and then we just come down low again. So it goes like this. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Maybe I'll step back a little bit so you can see more of my whole body, but I hope you guys can hear me since I'm so far away now. So with me, let's start all the way down here. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. All right, so one more time just to make sure you guys all got it. So we're showing each note on our body, the lowest note all the way up to the highest note up here. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. All right, so that one was pretty easy. So we're gonna do one that's a little bit harder. This one is called Icicles. And Icicles starts high, and then we go way down low, so the notes don't always go in order. So let me show you first before you try, so you kind of understand how it goes. We are little icicles melting in the sun. Can you see our tiny teardrops falling one by one? So we start high and go low, and then high and then low, and then high, and then we go all the way down, and then come back up to our waist, and then go down. So that's how Icicles goes. So try that with me and see if you can sing it along too. We are little icicles melting in the sun. Can you see our tiny teardrops falling one by one? So I'm trying to do that next part kind of slow so you guys can hear all of it and see all of it, how to do that on your body. So one more time, let's do Icicles. We are little icicles melting in the sun. Can you see our tiny teardrops falling one by one? Let's actually try that a little bit faster just for fun. We are little icicles melting in the sun. Can you see our tiny teardrops falling one by one? Oh, almost messed up the words with that one. Okay, so essentially what we just did was we showed all the notes on our body like a staff. So So if any of you guys remember what the word staff means, you can go ahead and say it. So a staff are the lines that we use to write music on. And there's 5 lines on the staff. So sometimes we can use our fingers to show the staff. So I'm gonna use my fingers, and the lowest line on the staff is a low note. And it goes line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space, line. So we have 5 lines, and in between our lines, we have spaces. So there's 5 lines and 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Here's our spaces. Here, our fingers are our lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all the notes that are on the lower part of the staff are low notes, and you'll hear them as low notes. And the ones that are up here are gonna be higher. So that's the order of the staff. Notes down here are low, notes up here are high. Okay, for the next part of our lesson, I'd like you guys to get out a piece of paper, or possibly 2, we might need a second one, and either a ruler or something that you can use to help you write a straight line. I'm going to use a whiteboard because that's what I have. I know some of you have a whiteboard as well, so you could possibly use your whiteboard if you need to. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a staff. So remember how I said that the staff has 5 lines. I'm going to make a 5-lined staff. So here's my first line. I'm going to put a little bit of space in between here. Another line here. And we're going to try to make our lines as evenly spaced as we can. That's 3 lines, 4 lines, and then 1 more line to make my 5th line. All right, there is my beautiful music staff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write notes on here. So this is going to be for you guys to practice writing notes on a staff. So first, we're going to write up here, line notes. We're going to practice writing line notes. And what we're going to do is we're going to use whole notes for this. So a whole note just looks like an oval like this. This is a whole note. So first we're going to write line notes. So we're going to start at the bottom line, which is the lowest, and we're going to write our whole note there. So notice when I write it on a line, that means the line goes through the middle of the note, right through the center. So when you write your notes on the staff, make sure the line goes right through the center of your note. So I'm going to write a whole note on each one of the lines on my staff. So the next one, I'm not going to put right above. I'm going to put after, because when we write a song, we want those notes to come after each other so we can read it like we do words from left to right. So the next note is going to go to the right, and we're going to put it on the next line, making that line go right through the middle of the note. Now, right next to that one, we're going to go up a line. This is going to be the 3rd line. So this one was the first line. First line is on the bottom. Second line is the second one up. This note we're going to put on the 3rd line here. And once again, the line goes right through the center of the note. Now we're going to put one on the 1, 2, 3, 4th line. 4th line. There's my 4th line note. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line. So we always count our lines from the bottom. And then doing our best to have that line go right through the middle of the note. So now we're going to, let's put a line right here. So these are our line notes over here. On this side, we're going to do space notes. Now, it doesn't mean outer space. That means we're going to put them in the spaces in between the lines. So the first space note goes in the first space, which is the bottom space. Now, I want you to notice how the note fills in that space. The bottom of the note touches the bottom line that it's in, and then the top of the note touches the top line. Okay, so that's in the first space. Now we want to go over to the right and go up to the second space. And we do the same thing so that note fills in that whole space. So the way you do not do it is you write a note like that. Or if it kind of goes inside of a line, because these look confusing. Not really sure if that's a line note or a space note. So that's why we want to be very, very clear when we write music, whether it's on a line or a space, because it's very important. Those are two completely different pitches, so we don't want to confuse somebody who would be playing the music or singing the music. So we have a note in the first space and the second space, and then you want one in the third space. So going over to the right and filling that note in the space. And now 1, 2, 3, fourth space. So we just have 4 spaces. And there's our last space note. Okay, now that we have our line notes and our space notes done, I'm gonna have you guys draw another staff. Below that, we're going to practice drawing some more notes. So here we go, making another staff with 5 lines. There's 3 lines, 4 lines. There's our 5th line. So our nice new staff. So this, I want you to write a scale. And a scale in music is a set of notes. So we are going to write all of the line and space notes. So that means we alternate between line and space. So we're going to start from lowest to highest again. And we're gonna start with a line note here. And then we're going to draw a space note, because that's the next note right after the line note. And then we're gonna do to the right, put a note on the line, and then to the right on the next space. Then on the line right above that, then on the space, and then on the line, and then on the space, and then on the line. So that is our scale from lowest to highest. So we want to make sure that we don't skip any of the space notes or the line notes. So we go line note, space note, line note, space note, line note, space note, line note, space note, and line note. So I'd like to see you guys have all these written out. So line notes, space notes, and then a scale of notes. And we are definitely going to use numbers when it comes to this. So this is the first line. I'll write it here. First line, second line, third line, fourth line, and fifth line. There's 5 lines. And then here we have first space, second space, third space, and fourth space. So we always count from the bottom up in music. And when you are done, I want you guys to take a picture and attach it to your assignment so I can see that you understand how to write line notes and space notes.